What's up guys, this is Ray, and first off I want to start by saying Happy Mother's Day. Much love to all you hardworking moms out there. I hope you enjoy this day 100% to the fullest, even though we're all living in this weird and hard time right now. I sincerely hope that each one of you at least take this day to relax. So to commemorate this special day, I curated this list of 10 movies to watch, to enjoy on Mother's Day. But before we dive into this list, if you guys are new to Eiga-Man Ray, I upload reviews and discussions of Japanese movies every chance that I get. So if you're new to the channel and you did the content, feel free to support this channel by checking out other videos featured here and also by subscribing. So now let's get into this list. So I only have one rule when it comes to the movies featured here, and that is it has to be about the mom. Well, you know, the mom either has to be a central part, the center to the story, or at least be a main element of it. Now keep in mind, these movies aren't arranged by any kind of ranking, best to worst, or anything like that. These are just 10 movies without any sort of arrangement that I'm just recommending for you guys to watch. Now I won't dive deep into reviews of each of these individual movies. That's why I make separate videos, so I can fully flesh out my thoughts on each of these movies. But I'll at least give like a small snippet, a small opinion of why I'm recommending these movies to you. So the first movie on this list at number 10 is a 2019 movie, Bento Harrassment, directed by Tsukamoto Renpei and starring Shinohara Ryoko. Long story short, the story is about this mom with a high school daughter who's going through a rebellious phase in her life, and the daughter won't talk to the mother at all except via text messaging. And the mother has found a way to get through to her daughter and to communicate by way of her lunchboxes. So she decorates each and every lunchbox with different kinds of imagery, whether it be characters or doodles. You know, these are called character bentos, which basically you make like a cool picture, very intricately designed pictures, and this attracts the kind of attention the daughter doesn't want, and this kind of breaks the ice between the mom and the daughter. So the reason why you should check this movie out is because this is a fun movie. Like it's very lighthearted, the editing is very quirky, and the kind of bentos, the kind of lunch boxes that the mom creates to get through to her daughter are very cute. And I honestly think if you check this movie out, if you're into cooking, you might even want to try taking a stab at making these character bentos for yourself. And next at number 9, the next movie on this list is the 2018 movie Cafe Funikuli Funikula, directed by Tsukahara Ayuko and starring Arumura Kasami. Now the mom isn't a center component of the story, but it is a main element, or rather the relationship between mother and daughter. The basic story of Cafe Funikuli Funikula is that there's this mysterious cafe in which if you ask for it, the waitress can serve you this cup of coffee that sends you back in time to talk to someone in your past. There are a few rules established that the patrons have to follow in order to essentially not get trapped forever, and one of them is that they have a time limit until their coffee gets cold. When their coffee starts to get lukewarm, they have to drink their coffee. Otherwise, they'll be trapped in time forever. This movie features an ensemble cast, and we get little mini episodes featuring a different pair and a different relationship. And as I hinted earlier, the central pair of the story is a mother and daughter. And prepare, you know, this movie is a drama, so prepare if you're the type of movie fan who loves to watch tear-inducing movies, tear-jerkers, this movie is for you. And something that I like too is that it mixes just that much bit of fantasy to make this movie unique. The next movie on this list at number 8 is a 2008 movie, Kabhi, Our Mother, directed by Yamada Yoji and starring Yoshinaga Sayuri. The story of Kabhi, it starts off in 1940. We have a mom, dad, and 2 daughters. And the dad is a scholar. And one day he gets imprisoned for essentially criticizing the government. They call it like a thought crime, if you will. You know, to keep in mind, this takes place before 1940s when there was a very different political climate in Japan. And so while the dad is in prison, it's up to the mom to care for the family while the dad is locked away without, you know, they don't know when he's coming back. This movie has a lot of heart, and at its core, it is a family-centric drama. But we also get a glimpse as to how life was around World War II, especially when it comes to characters who are both for the government and against the government. And this is just my interpretation. You can watch this movie as kind of a political commentary for Japan of that time, but you could also watch this as a heartfelt family drama. The next movie on this list at number 7 is the 2018 movie The House Where the Mermaid Sleeps. It's directed by Tsutsumi Yukihiko and stars, once again featuring on this list, Shinohara Ryoko. And in The House Where the Mermaid Sleeps, the story is about this husband and wife who agree to get a divorce once their daughter reaches a certain age. But then they receive the news that the daughter, still elementary school age, you know, they receive the news that she had drowned in a swimming pool. And so the daughter is declared brain dead by the doctors. So it's up to the parents to decide whether they want to keep their daughter alive until until the heart stops beating, or if they want to donate her organs to patients in need. And the mom, as you can probably guess, decides to keep the daughter alive as long as possible. And some of the choices that she makes, some of the techniques she chooses to use, it dives kind of into dark sci-fi territory, and it gets kind of weird and eerie, but at the same time there's a lot of emotion in this story. So if you're looking for a tearjerker, this movie has it. And if you want something more on the uncomfortable side to watch, not in the sense that it gets kind of gory or violent or anything like that, but just that, you know, some of the choices that the character makes and the emotional journey that the mom goes through, that kind of hard to watch. If you're into that kind of stuff, then this movie has it. And so the next movie at number 6, we have the 2015 movie Hana's Miso Soup. It's directed by Akane Tomoaki and stars Hirosue Ryoko. And apparently this is based off of a true story. I'm not sure how accurate it is in portraying the true events, but it's the story of Hana's Miso Soup. It's about this woman who is diagnosed with cancer, and she finds out about her cancer when she's dating her boyfriend, but the boyfriend is all but ready to spend her last remaining days as her husband. So they get married, and eventually the cancer, she gets over her cancer, but then they decide that they want to have a baby, but then they get warned that with pregnancy comes the risk of the cancer resurfacing, but they still, try anyways. And of course, the cancer does resurface. And so the reason why it's called Hana's Miso Soup is that because the mom spends her last remaining days teaching her daughter, Hana, how to cook, and it starts off with miso soup. This movie features a balance of dramatic moments and cute moments, especially if you like, fun moments between mother and daughter. And it features the kind of drama that you can expect with movies featuring a time limit of sorts. So the next movie on this list at number 5 is the 2016 movie Sing My Life. It's directed by Mizuta Nobuo and stars Tabe Mikako. And this is a remake of the Korean hit movie Miss Granny. The story of Sing My Life, it's about this grandma who wanders in this mysterious photo studio, and after taking her photo, she is miraculously transported into the body of her 20-year-old self. So she takes the time to enjoy the kinds of things that she wasn't able to enjoy as a 20-year-old, and the reason why she couldn't enjoy them is because, well, she had to take care of her daughter. So this movie not only is themed around celebrating one's youth, going back and, if you can go back and redoing things again to do things that you haven't tried before, but also taking a look at your family, taking a look at what's important, and then just, cherishing what's important. Next at number 4, we have Nagasaki, Memories of My Son, directed by Yamada Yoji and also starring Yoshinaga Sayuri. And this is another period piece. It's about this mom whose son died 3 years ago, but she gets visited by the ghost of her son. And they have this conversation. They look back at all their happy memories together and just the life of the son up until his death. This movie features a number of heartfelt moments and tearjerker moments nonetheless. This is about this mom having a conversation with their dead son, looking back at all the fun and pleasant memories that they had. And this is a World War II period piece, so you can kind of guess by the name of the title and this being a World War II movie, you can guess kind of why the son had died. And for me, because I lived in Nagasaki for 5 years of my life here in Japan, just hearing the dialect spoken by the lead characters, by the lead performers, for me, it brought back a lot of good memories too. Next up at number 3, we have an anime movie. This anime movie is Wolf Children, directed by Hosoda Mamoru and featuring the voice talents of Miyazaki Aoi. And I love Hosoda Mamoru's anime movies. They all feature some kind of familial relationship at the center of the story. And obviously with Wolf Children, it's about the mom and her kids. The story of Wolf Children, it's about a woman who falls in love with a man who she learns later is a werewolf. But she doesn't run away when she finds that information. Instead, she decides to carry on with the relationship, and they have 2 kids before the dad unfortunately passes away. So it's about this mom raising 2 kids who also have the ability to turn back and forth into wolves. And as much as this movie features the struggle of a single mom raising 2 wild kids, this movie also features the theme of, for the kids, through the kids' point of view, what do they want to grow up as? Do they want to grow up as a human, or do they want to grow up as a wolf? And for me, this is personally my favorite Hosoda Mamoru anime movie. And the main reason is because this movie probably has the most the highest amount of emotional punches. You know, it's about this struggling mom trying to find the best place to raise the kids, also trying to figure out the best way to bring in, you know, put food on the table. This has all the struggles laid out. And you have two kids who are trying to figure themselves out in this world, and just the way everyone interacts with each other. Like, there are so many tearjerker moments that I couldn't help but label this as my favorite Hosoda movie. And the next one, and number 2, we're gonna go kind of a bit darker. You know, I don't think many would consider this movie a conventional film when it comes to mothers, but we're gonna go do it anyways. And number 2, we have Confessions, directed by Nakashima Tetsuya and starring Matsu Takako. The story of Confessions. It's about this school teacher who learns that one or more of her students had murdered her child. So she goes to different lengths to enact revenge on those bad students. This movie is fantastic for its lighting, for its use of colors, for its chilly and eerie dialogue, especially one spoken by Matsu Takako herself. And also her music, its mood setting, its pacing, everything about this movie is near perfect. And this movie does feature a number of shocking and revealing scenes. So if you are into thrillers, if you're into whodunit kind of stories, I mean, there's not much whodunit to this movie. You kind of know who did it. But if you're a fan of movies which feature the theme, you know, how they put it, revenge is a dish best served cold, then this movie is for you. And the last movie on this list, you know, I think this is probably an obvious choice when it comes to movies about moms, but we're going to do it anyway. And the next movie at number 1 is the 2016 movie Her Love Boils Bathwater, directed by Nakano Ryota and starring Miyazawa Rie. And this movie, I think, is definitely important because at the year this movie was released, it was submitted by Japan to participate in the Best Foreign Film category for that year's Academy Awards. It didn't get nominated, but just the fact that it got submitted to participate, that just goes to show how big this movie is. So the story of Her Love Boils Bathwater is about this mom who owns a public bathhouse, and one day she discovers that she has cancer. And so before her eventual day comes, she decides that she's gonna she has a bucket list basically. One of them is to, you know, train up her daughter so that way her daughter, who's usually a crybaby and kind of weak, can fend for herself. Another is to locate her estranged husband. And of course there's more than that. But what this movie has a lot of is just a ton of emotional punches to the gut. This movie, if you like tearjerkers and movies that'll make you cry and then cry some more and cry even more after that, this movie, it won't disappoint at all. And the way this movie features a patient afflicted with cancer and also the way it affects their family, it's oftentimes hard to watch, but at the same time, there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of heartfelt moments in the story, as with many of the movies that I mentioned previously. I know I've been saying that kind of comment about many of the movies on this list, but it is an amazing movie. If you're a fan of movies about family, if you're a fan of movies with strong dramatic themes. Anyways, yes, that's my list. What do you guys think? Please let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know what your go-to movies are from Japan that you can enjoy with your mom or that relate to Mother's Day, something that we can all enjoy on Mother's Day. Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all the social media channels. And if you really dig the content, feel free to hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time I upload a new video. And also check out my Patreon page, of which you can find the link in the description area below. And yeah, that's about it for me, guys. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to all my patrons over at Patreon for supporting this channel and anything and everything that I do. And I'll catch you all again in the next video. Take it easy.